welcome everybody. While we're waiting for Tarek to get back, I'd love to hear where everybody's joining us from. We're going to be looking at some different markets tonight, and I want to know where you guys are joining us from. Go ahead and put that in the chat there.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
All right, Chicago. Yeah, guys, if you could please put wherever you're located at in the country or the world in the chat so we have an idea. Oh, I saw Costa Mesa. It's a neighbor. Boise, Idaho, Chicago, Rhode Island, Texas, New Jersey, Arkansas. Hey, I was in Arkansas 2 weeks ago. I really liked Arkansas, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. We just bought a 376 unit multifamily building out there. So the biggest one we've done. So a real exciting week.
That is awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting. I remember 12 years ago, I couldn't buy lunch and I was splitting $5 footlongs at Subway and stealing lemonade and water cups. So I would say it's been a good decade.
Hey, Tarek, I wanted to ask you a question. So my grandma has a house in San Antonio, and I was wondering, do you think it's better to modernize the countertops or either put butcher block or granite or keep it the bluish tile that's there?
Oh, there's a lot more detail I would need before I answer it. It just depends on the plan. But here's one thing. If the rest of the house is remodeled nice and just the kitchen's not, then yes. If the rest of the house is, similar to the blue tile, then you don't have to do it. It just depends. Does she want to do it to make her kitchen nicer, or is she trying to improve the value to sell it?
I told her that if you want to get the max price, you gotta update the countertops and do all that. But then there's a pink bathroom, which is the other problem.
All right, so I think we got. So you can. The beautiful thing, you can reglaze over colored tile. You can glaze it white with a professional company. It's like $400. And then countertops, you can definitely put on a counter. But it is 5:30, so I'm gonna kick this thing off. So we have more people hopping on right now, but welcome. This is a very special night with my company, Homeschooled by Tarek. I don't know if, we have a lot of students on tonight and also a lot of non-students tonight. Tonight was really about opening up our program to the public and showing you guys what we do. So tonight is special because it's a deal finding session, as I mentioned, and there's a software called Privy. And Privy is an incredible software that if you don't have experience, you don't have money, you don't have marketing, you don't need those things. Using this software, going over the system that we're going to be doing tonight, you can go out there and get real estate deals. And this is something very important I want everybody to pay attention to. If you know nothing about real estate, you don't know what a purchase contract is, you don't know what escrow is, you don't know what a transaction coordination, it doesn't matter. If you want to get started, within a Homeschooled, if you go out there and you find a property and you need help with it, you can actually partner with me on a deal. So if that's something that's interesting to you, don't feel like, oh, you can't do this because you don't have money. Oh, you can't do this because you don't know about real estate. That's why I'm here. So our goal is to really get you started in this business, because this business really made me who I am today. You guys have seen my TV shows. Chelsea, could you mute it, please? Or Sonia? There you go. And just so you guys know, I've flipped close to 1,000 houses now. So I've done a lot of real estate transactions. I own 200 rental properties across the country and growing. And we purchased 6 apartment buildings and also 2 self-storage facilities. So real estate's just my passion. So with all of that being said, I'm going to introduce the main man of the night, Mr. Benson. Benson, where are you at, my friend?
How are you? I'm actually out in St. Louis still.
St. Louis. All right.
St. Louis. I got a closing on Friday, a property I found on Privy that I've actually bought sight unseen. Privy found the deal, and I was planning on wholesaling it, but I decided to keep it because I knew that if I just went in and just cleaned it up, just like I filled a 40-yard dumpster, which is junk. And I went from like a $5,000 assignment fee to a $13,500 net profit.
All right. So yeah. So that's the beautiful thing about real estate. You go into a deal thinking one thing, and the next thing you know, there's multiple opportunities you can choose from. So Benson, why don't we tell the audience a little bit about yourself, a little bit about Privy, and let's kick this thing off. Let's have some fun tonight.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all the homeschooled staff, Chelsea and Jeff and everybody over there. I really appreciate you guys having me. And Tarek, it's been cool to get to know you a little bit here and work with your team. It's just like, it's another high level over there. Like you guys are just doing stuff on a whole different level. And so I'm just like so appreciative to be here. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Benson Juarez. I'm one of the owners of Privy. It's a real estate investment software company. We help real estate investors, wholesalers, agents, landlords more easily find and analyze deals using data. I've been in the business for about 20 years. I'm still a licensed agent. I do my own deals. I'm actually doing the deals here in St. Louis. I started out doing them virtually from Colorado, but I chose St. Louis because I was in a crappy market. And so what I decided was, instead of banging my head against the wall in Colorado and just doing the same thing over and over again, I decided to just go and find another market where I could get 4 houses for the price of 1, a lot more deferred maintenance homes, way less friction, lots of investor activity, which is the key. And that's one of the foundations of what I'm going to show you guys tonight, is that don't look for deals just based off of convenience or what's familiar, what's comfortable, right? Which all those usually lead to you doing deals in your backyard, which can work. However, it's not usually going to work because oftentimes there's a better time for you to spend, or better place for you to spend your time and money. It's called opportunity cost, right? Most of you aren't doing this full time. And so every minute you spend in your business has to be very strategic, very intentional.
And Benson, if you don't mind me interrupting, just really quick. So here's something that we all need to understand and realize. Real estate investing has changed. With all of the technology we have today, real estate investing is no longer in your backyard. Real estate investing is this entire country from the push of a button. It's beautiful, the technology. You can find comps, you can get data of the property, you can get contacts of the owners, contacts of the agents. So because of technology, we're now able to take our business anywhere in the country. If you think about it right now, all of us are on this Zoom link. We're all over the country, but we're all in the same space, you know? So real estate's changed a lot. Okay, Vincent, sorry.
No, I would love, I love that perspective. And you're right, like, and you started off too, right, in your own backyard, way back when, right? You're just in the California market. And now look at you, you're buying 300 unit buildings in other states. Right. So it's absolutely, the sky's the limit. And honestly, guys, I didn't see if there was anybody here that was international, but we've got dozens and dozens of Privy users that are in completely different countries that have never been here. They may never come here, that are actually executing, doing, you know, buying rental properties. They're doing virtual wholesale, but doing fix and flips. If they can do it from another country, you can do it in the next state over. Right. And I'm going to show you how you can leverage the data and the technology to get comfortable with that process, because honestly, the majority of it is going to be in your head. It's going to be some kind of mental blocks about, oh my God, I can barely do a deal in my own backyard. How am I going to do it in someone else's backyard? And it's based off of the data and us using local market data to teach you what a deal is in that market and give you the local market realities.
Absolutely.
So what we can do is we start off with a screen share, Tarek, and I'll kind of get people kind of up to speed on what it is they're looking at here, and then we'll jump into it. And I want this to be fun, you guys. I want this to be interactive. And that's why we asked where you're located, because we're going to look at some other markets tonight. And what you see here on the map is actually is Privy. It's a software. You don't have to download anything. It's just a website you sign into. And you may have heard of some other platforms out there. We've got a lot of really great competitors. But what none of them do is give us what's called direct to MLS data, multiple listing service. That's where an agent lists a property for sale. And that's where agents and appraisers get their data for comping, for determining value, is from the MLS. And so we're the only company in the country that goes direct to MLS on scale like this. Right now, we're over 70 markets. We're approaching 80. And we've got another 15 to 20 that are in the queue to be added in. And so we're constantly adding in more. Now, why is that important? Because in a business where the numbers matter, right? We're talking about real estate here. if you are off, 5% on your estimated value of a property, just either direction 5%, that's literally the difference between you making and losing money, or getting into a deal you shouldn't be into, or almost worse than that, Tarek, is like passing up on a deal that they shouldn't pass up on because they're being so conservative with their numbers. All right. And it's so hard to find leads and so hard to execute and get these things coming in, that if you better understand your local market and you know what the numbers are and what a deal is, you'll be able to take advantage of everything that comes your direction, right? And also be able to see what other investors are doing. And that's the key of what I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to click this button right here at the top, and this is going to show us all of the fix and flip activity in the nation. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do fix and flip, but whenever you're searching for deals and you measure how good that deal is based off of what's called a percentage of ARV, or after repair value, the lower the percentage, the better the deal is, then you have to understand fix and flip. That's
yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Vincent. I might interrupt you a couple of times. You know me, I can never.
No, get in. I wish I would. I'm going to put you in the middle here so I can see, because I'm looking at the camera, even though I'm not seeing you. So please,
I'm looking to the side. I just wanted to clarify. So there are so many different ways to invest in real estate. So today we're talking about houses, right? So today, when you're investing in houses, you're buying rentals, or you're flipping, or you're doing vacation rentals, or you're wholesaling. So today, let's talk about two things: fixing and flipping. And can you mute it, Chelsea, please? Let's talk about fixing and flipping, and then also wholesaling. So fixing and flipping means someone buys the house, they get money, they get a loan, they own it, they fix it up, and hopefully sell it for more and make a profit. I'm assuming that makes sense. Okay, so here's what wholesaling is, in case you don't know what wholesaling is. Let's just say I'm out there looking for houses to flip, me, Tarek El Moussa, and I find a house, the seller wants $300,000. When it's fixed up, it's worth $550,000. Let's just say I ran out of money because I bought 100 houses last month. Well, I signed the contract with that seller for $300,000 or assignee. So in the contract, I put the words or assignee. What that does, it gives me the legal right to assign that contract to a third-party buyer. So in this case, if I got Benson to sell me his house for $300,000, and I put Tarek El Moussa as the buyer or assignee, I could go find my friend Ronnie, who's a fix and flip, who's a contractor, who wants to buy it for $350,000. So then Ronnie buys the property off of Benson for $350,000. My contract price is at $300,000, so I would get the difference. And in this situation, it's a $50,000 wholesale fee. So the goal here of today is to show you how to find these properties, to write offers, and then how to wholesale it to a buyer and collect that fee. Does that make sense, everyone in the chat?
I love it. And
Okay.
and the key is like what you
Yes.
started off with was fix and flip, right? So how do you determine that house is worth 550,000? Well, it's based off of when other people that have flipped houses around there, right? So one of the strategies here, you guys, is to not just look where you live, but to think about, are there other Tareks in this neighborhood? Are there other Tareks flipping houses? If there are, then that's where you want to look for wholesale deals, because Tarek is going to be the guy that's going to buy it from you, right? He will buy it. He needs inventory. So how do we find them? Well, it's by using this investor activity. So at the top right here where it says fix and flip, I click that one button, and it's basically a filter that we just preset. And it's going to plot on the map where all the fix and flips are. So there's been 208 fix and flips in the last 12 months where they bought it, fixed up, and sold it. Okay. Some of them made a bunch of money. Some of them made a little bit. Some of them even lost some money. But that's not important. What's important is that they flipped it, and that sold amount is now what we're going to use to determine if our house is a deal. Now, you see some things here, right? What are we looking at? Well, this is essentially a heat map. The higher the number you see on the map, the larger the circle, the more activity there is. But you can see here that there's actually no circles in some areas. Like look at South Dakota, right? It makes sense. Like there's a bunch of deer out here and bears. They're probably not flipping houses, right? So you shouldn't be looking for a fix and flip where the bears are at, right? I'm not saying don't look in Chicago, because actually Chicago is a really good place to look for deals. And actually so much so that the numbers here tell us that there's over 4,400 deals in bear country, right? Well, where are some other markets that you might consider? Well, look at Kansas City, right? I saw Brandon, this is your neck of the woods, buddy. 1,700 properties have been flipped in Kansas City, right? So this is a market you might want to target. You're fortunate, Brandon, if you live there. I don't know if you do, but if you have the boots on the ground and they're your own boots and there's high investor activity, you've got another checkbox there that's going to help you be a little bit more effective. I wasn't in St. Louis, but it's got 2,400. So I literally decided I'm going to do some business there first, learn the market, wholesale a couple, a dozen deals, or actually half a dozen deals, and then go and start doing deals myself.
I'm sorry, Benson. This is just so awesome, guys. This is like this is mind-blowing technology. If you would have asked me 10 to 12 years ago if I can go on a website and it would tell me where to buy based on activity, I would have said no way. So literally, the higher the number, the more deals are happening, and that's a good spot for you to be.
It is, and there's some other markets here, right? So up in Cleveland, 2,000 plus deals. One of the hottest markets in the whole country, Target, I don't know if you've done anything on the East Coast, is Philadelphia. Philadelphia has close to 6,000 deals that have been done in the greater Philly market. So that's a market you guys might consider. As we scroll down here into some different areas, Atlanta is actually a really hot area. Atlanta's popping. North Carolina in the Charlotte area, look at that.
I like North Carolina a lot. I think I have about 30 houses over there.
Yeah, North Carolina is really active. It's one of those ones that's really coming up. I mean, they're building a bunch of stuff out there, like they're building these, data centers and depots. And now, if you want to be in Texas, the best area would be Dallas Fort Worth. And I did see some DFW people here earlier, so we'll look at that market. I think it's one that's very interesting. And then also I saw Florida, so we'll look at Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, and look at that, 5,000 plus deals in the mid-Florida market. Now, let's say you live in California and you're thinking, well, I wouldn't even know what to do. It's on the completely other side of the country. How would I get comfortable looking for properties in Tampa? Well, it's by doing the local market research. Now, Homeschool and the coaches there and Tarek do a really good job of teaching you guys strategy and implementation of marketing and doing deals. But what's difficult for them, and they probably shouldn't even put a whole lot of effort into this because they would be dated, is what's a deal in Tampa today versus Dallas versus Philadelphia versus Indianapolis versus Chicago, right? Well, the data is what teaches you that, right? And so there's not another platform in the world that can show you what a deal is in Tampa right now. So as I'm zooming in on this market, these clusters are breaking up into smaller clusters. And then eventually, once I get close enough, this is going to actually show us the individual properties that were flipped. Now, why is this important? Well, because you can see all the data on these homes. This is how you learn the real estate side of the business, right? It isn't always about what lists you use, which scripts, cold calling, all of the other stuff you learn. That stuff's important too. But sometimes people are so effective at generating leads that when they get a deal, they don't know what to do with it because they never learned the real estate side of the business, like how to comp a property out, how to determine if it's a deal, who are the people that are involved in that property. So this one right here at the top is a house that just closed. Every one of these is actually, it's geolocated. So we're showing you which neighborhoods you should be investing in. I'm not saying go to Tampa in general. I'm saying go to Sulphur Springs. I'm saying to go to Seminole Heights. Those are the neighborhoods you want to be going because this is where the ingredients are to build a deal. And whether you know it or not, you have a lot more control about the outcome of your efforts, not just by chance stumbling into deals, but being very intentional. If you drive for dollars, you want to drive in these neighborhoods. If you're going to do a marketing campaign where you target foreclosures, this is where you're going to send your mail. because this is your buyers, number one, but also this is what you're going to use to prove what the value is worth. You can't prove what a fix and flip is going to be worth in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, because no one's doing it. An appraiser wouldn't be able to figure it out. So let's look at one of these houses. So Tarek, this house right here, it's in East Sly Avenue, 310,000 is what they sold it for.
It looks like a flip. Does it? What did they pay for it?
Down here in this section called before and after, we show you the before and after. That's odd, right? Or that we call it that. But they got it for 220,000. Here's what it looked like over here. They got it from the MLS. This was an MLS deal. Sold it for 310. So they had a gross profit of 90 grand. Gross, for people that don't know, that means this is before they take out all their costs, like their construction costs and realtor fees and, you know, other soft costs.
So yeah, so I'll give you guys just a quick example of this deal. So they sold it for 310,000. Based on the pictures, I would think they probably spent, what would you say, Benson, 30, 40?
For $30 a square foot.
Yeah, so let's call it for 30,000. So they sold it for 310,000. To make it look like a $310,000 house, they had to spend about $30,000. So 310 minus 30 puts you at 280,000. When they sold this house for 310, they had to pay about 6% in commissions and closing costs. Let's call it 20,000. So then we take 310 sale price minus 30 to fix it up, puts us at 280, minus $20,000 to sell it, puts us at 260. So they paid 210. So that's $50,000 in profit, minus, of course, any carrying costs if they got a loan on the property. So in this situation, if I was a wholesaler and I locked this up at 220, I could assign this deal to someone else for 230 with no risk, no skin in the game, and make a quick $10,000. Another great thing about wholesaling is it's not always 10,000. There's many deals I've done where I've made 100, sometimes $200,000 on a wholesale deal. And one other thing is if you're wholesaling in some states, not many, but in some states, you do have to have a real estate license to do wholesaling. So wherever you're located in the country, make sure you go on the internet and check if you need to have a real estate license to wholesale. And I know we're throwing a lot of information at you guys right now, but this stuff, it's pretty simple. And if this sounds interesting to you, this is like exactly what we teach in our 9-month program at Homeschooled. So if you have any interest in hearing more about Homeschooled, you should book a strategy session. They're totally free, and that information will be in the chat box.
Yep, absolutely. One of the things that is part of the market research is looking at the quantitative data, right? You know, Tarek just said that they 40 to 50 grand is what they netted less carrying costs. But the other qualitative data here, which is not numbers, but information you need to know, is like, who are the buyers here? Remember earlier I mentioned who are the Tareks of Tampa? Well, it's these people right here. So it's Miscellanea and Morrow Investment Property LLC. So they're the ones that flip this. Now, part of the challenge is in understanding this is understanding like what they would be willing to buy. They call it their buy box. So they're basically their buying criteria. Well, we know an example of a house that they were willing to buy. So a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,272 square feet house in 33610 in Tampa. That's a house that matches their buy box. So in theory, if I go find another house in the same zip code at a similar price and at a similar discount, they would buy it from me, right? In theory. Now, what I would do is I would actually just Google these guys real quick and see if I can't find some contact information. Usually they pop up in like one of these business databases. And then, you know, fairly soon you can see that, you know, Richard Fernandez is the agent on that. And then there's another website called True People Search where you can do, you put his name in and it'll find like phone numbers and emails, and you can reach out to these people and talk to them.
Yeah, so there are actually companies out there. Again, you can find all of this on the internet, or if you guys are already in Homeschooled, you know, we've already taught you how to do this, but you can almost find anyone's phone number on the internet and just pick up the phone and call them. It's like, hey, Bob, my name's Tarek El Moussa. I saw that you bought, you know, 3004 East Sly Avenue in Tampa, Florida for, 220,000. I have a deal right around the corner. I think you'd really like for 210,000. Are you interested? Well, they're most likely they're gonna say yes. You guys got to remember this. Fix and flip investors like myself, we are looking for deals. We rely on you to get out there and find us those deals. So you're actually giving a big service by finding these deals and selling them to us.
Absolutely. And so don't feel like you're bothering these people. The first couple calls, it might be a little nerve wracking because you won't know what to say exactly, but we give you scripts. Tarek, you probably have scripts too that you guys give to people. So it'll help to kind of, soften the edges, and you get in and you just start calling. But then you'll build what's called a buyer's list. So this is a list of people that you've talked to that when you find a deal over here in Tampa, you just activate them like sleeper cells, and you just send these properties out to them. And then they can say like, oh, I want that one, or I want this one. And then you organize a time where they can go check it out. And then at that point, they'll be like, okay, I want it. And then they give you your fee, right? Maybe it's $10,000, and you literally didn't have to swing a hammer or get a loan or have good credit or, spend a bunch of money on marketing. And that's one of the things I'm going to show you too, is that sometimes when people think wholesale, they think that, okay, you have to be on the phone all the time. Cold calling, motivated sellers, or, buying a bunch of lists, or, spending money on ringless voicemail, or these other things that people hear about. The strategy I'm going to show you tonight is how you can get some low hanging fruit, which is actually on market deals. So,
and that's something that's interesting. So when the markets, this is important for everyone. So when the market's appreciating, when the prices are going up, it is close to impossible to find good deals on the multiple listing service because the market's hot. There's so many buyers and so many investors. So typically when the market's hot, we really focus on off-market deals. Right now, the market is not hot. So sellers have higher days on the market. More homes are going to be coming for sale, right? So the deals today, they're actually on the MLS, right? There's a ton of them. So when the market's appreciating, not many deals. When it's flat or declining, there's a lot of deals on the MLS. And the beautiful thing about the MLS, it just takes work. It doesn't take a lot of money. When I'm going after off-market deals, you have mailing campaigns, digital marketing campaigns, TV commercials. With this stuff, it's just using the data. And like Benson was saying, to build a buyer's list, I want all of you to pick anywhere in the country where you want to invest, just in your mind right now. And think about this software. You would go to this software, whatever area you're thinking, you're going to find all the investors that bought in that area. You're going to Google them, skip trace them, get their phone number, and you're going to know all the buyers who want to buy in the area that you're looking to find deals.
And you could do that on scale. I was showing you guys on a one-off basis, but there's a little button right here. It says download. I can actually click that and it'll download all 128 of these properties into a CSV file. And in that CSV file is all of the things, the data points that you need to do what's called skip trace. Skip trace is just a term that is used by, we'll start it off with like private investigators to find people who skip bail. But now marketers use it to find contact information. So we have all these people who own these homes in this area or flipped them. And we've got the property address, we've got their mailing address, and we got their names here. And we can actually, call them, but we'll skip trace, get a phone number, email, and start doing that reach out. So you can do it on scale. The other thing you can do, and we're not going to talk about off market today, which means going after properties that aren't listed, but you can download motivated sellers, foreclosures, absentee owners, vacancies, zombie properties, senior owners. That's a day for another training. And when we have that as well, and I know that Homeschool does as well. So the next thing is, are there any deals here we can buy today? So people, and this is hilarious to me, Tarek, when they say this, like motivated sellers, right? Like people that are off market aren't typically motivated to sell. They're just on a list. They somehow fell into a list, right? And maybe 2% of those people are even going to consider selling their house. And maybe one of them is motivated. So the easiest place to find motivated sellers is on the MLS. Those people have raised their hand and said, I want to sell my house, and here's the price I want to sell it for. And all we have to do is leverage the data to figure out if that list price is actually a deal. And if we're looking in a neighborhood that has these renovated homes, then all of a sudden, all of the unrenovated homes that are around these renovated homes become deals. That's what creates the margin, is the sweat equity that they put into it. That's what creates it. So we're going to look for active deals right now by clicking this button. It says find similar active deals.
Hey, Benson,
And-
I'm gonna interrupt you really quick. Hey, how many homeschooled students we got on tonight? What do you think? You want to see Coach Tarek over here make some live calls? I got one yes. All right, they want me to make some calls. All right, so it's been a while. I don't know. Uh-oh, I'm getting peer pressure now. All right, and let's do this, Benson. Let's find a market that is not 3 hours ahead. So maybe it's early enough for me to hop on the phone and make some calls for everyone.
Let's do that. Let's do that. So let me find at least one here, and then we'll jump on something on the West Coast. How about that?
Beautiful.
All right. So this, let's say that we talked to our buyers and they said, okay, I'm looking for something that's at 65% of the ARV. That means if you can buy it for $65,000 or less, then you can sell it for over 100,000. That's all that really means. Okay. Just quick math. So let's look real here and see if there is something that is available right now.
And ARV, everyone, is after repair value, what the home could be worth once it's fixed up and pretty.
And once it's fixed up and pretty, right. And so it is, I'm glad you pointed that out, because I often think that, people know what ARV means, and it's not all that intuitive, and most people don't know.
You want to laugh? So, okay, you guys are going to love this. So I'm teaching my firefighter friend, Ronnie, who's sitting next to me, about real estate investing. He's driving me crazy, by the way, but I do love it. Anyways, before we started this Privy webinar, Ronnie actually called that exact property in Tampa. And it turns out it's a tear down. They have a couple offers, and now the seller's ready to take a lower offer.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Ronnie. So this one turned out to look like a deal, right? Look at all the flips. So the reason why I chose this market is because of all the fix and flip activity that's there, okay? Look at all of these flips. So when I'm trying to determine what the value of this house is going to be after it's fixed up, then all I have to do is look at all the flips in the area. And our house is going to fall in here somewhere in between, based, an extra bedroom or another bathroom. But this makes it really easy for you to determine that value. If you look in an area where they don't have high investor activity like this, then you oftentimes have to use unrenovated homes to try to figure out what the after repair value is, and that just doesn't translate. So this is like the epitome of why we do this process, is so that all these fix and flips are here, and then all you have to do is just look at the house, and then you can say, all we have to do to our house to get to this same 349 value is what this flipper did to this house. This is a flip. So we've got an exact model. We've got a blueprint on what we need to do. So Privy's about removing the friction. It's about efficiency. It's about saving time, but also helps you take out the guesswork. Like, what is a deal in here? Well, this is a deal if we can get it at the right price. And the right price, 150 is a good price. Now, they did a little bit more research. Ronnie did more research and figured out that it's got likely some structural issues and probably needs to be torn down. But if you can get this thing below 40% of the ARV, you can still tear down and make money, right? What number would you put on that, Tarek, as far as tear down? I don't know if in Colorado it's about 40% or less. So
let me just do some quick math. If we tear it down, build a new 1,200 square foot house, call it 200 a foot in the Tampa market, maybe 240. Yeah, I mean, on this house, I'd probably be okay paying like 50, 60,000. Yeah.
Okay.
But just so everybody knows, I wouldn't actually do this project. Here's why. Time is very valuable. The amount of time it's going to take me to tear down this tiny little house and build another tiny little house, well, I can go spend my time focused on things that are going to bring me a higher return and make me more money. So actually, I would totally pass on this project, Vincent. I'd rather go find a deal that needs it's a light remodel and make a quick 50, 60 grand.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it again, that's opportunity cost. We were mentioning that earlier, right?
Yeah.
If we're going to go to a time zone where we can call people, we're going to have to go to Cali. All right. So I'm going to look in Los Angeles.
How about Vegas? How about Vegas, Arizona, or why don't we try Vegas, Benson?
We can try Vegas.
Yeah. I'm tired of California. I've been here for 41 years.
I don't particularly like Vegas.
Okay.
And the reason why is because there are all these
New
Adobe
construction.
homes that have been built like in the last 30 years. And you don't find a ton of like houses that need a bunch of work.
You know what, Benson? Let's do LA. You want to know why? By the way, last
Yeah.
week, I got a call from a real estate agent who apparently we had a deal with, the company did, at 580,000. It was the third time it had been canceled on. So I got involved on it. Long story short, I got the price reduction from 580 down to 500. We closed at 500, sold it 2 days later for I think it was 560.
Okay. That's a pretty nice deal.
Not a bad day at the office.
Let's see what we got here. Here's a house. It's $495. Okay, this just came on the market recently. It's got some cool curb appeal. Looks like it's in the Shire.
Well, I got Ronnie over here telling me, do you call this one too?
Yes.
See, I finally got a student that listens to me too much.
Amanda Rolls right here. That was our property. We ran numbers.
All right,
on.
Ronnie literally called that one too earlier. All right, what else we got, Benson?
Should I pass it and pass on it?
Yeah, because we already talked to her today.
Okay. Well, so this is showing that the data is doing what it's supposed to, right? Like if we're zeroing in on the same properties, that means that Ronnie didn't have to go and talk to a bunch of people where there was absolutely no potential deal to be made there. Let's look at this one, 399. Investor opportunity. Sometimes people like to use keywords in some of these internet sites to try to find deals. Let's scroll down.
Yeah, let's show them how we analyze it, and then I'm going to call the agent. So the first thing we want to find out is, what could this house sell for once it was fixed up? Again, ARV. What is the highest value of this house once it's remodeled? So Benson, let's look at some comps here. Let's see what comes up.
So the first comp, the comp that was used to flag this property as a deal, actually happens to be on the other side of the 110. So we can't use that comp, right?
Nope.
So let's go ahead and hide that. Now that leaves us with these. Now there's actually additional data here that we've hidden. This is a really small house, right? It's only 776 square feet. So the tolerance on a 776 is like 100 square foot. So I'm going to click this all activity checkbox, which is going to bring in the rest of the data that's in the area. And there might be some additional things here that we can use. So let's go ahead and look at the square feet here, and probably over, I don't know, 1,000 is where like it's just way too big.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you how simple real estate is right now. You know, based on this, we have a comp that sold at 530. That's, you know, a little bit larger. So I would look at those pictures compared to our property, and if it's nice, I would say ours would probably sell for 500. So this is, oh, this sold for let's see.
530.
So this one sold for 530, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. What's the lot size on this thing? 70 to 100. So I would say it's probably safe to say that our house could probably sell for 5.25 because it will be remodeled.
Right, here's another one. Went for 530. It got an extra bed and bathroom. This one looks like a bulk deal or commercial. 73rd. Oh, it's on the other side too. So that's one of the other things that this does for you guys, is that it automatically goes in and pulls comps for you.
Yeah.
Oh, this one went for,
Yeah.
oh, look at this one. This one went for 605.
Yeah, two bedroom, 2 bathroom. So that's an additional bathroom and it's a full remodel. So this actually, see, this is why we keep doing research. And this isn't even that nice. So now I think the property we're looking at, if it was nice, is 530 to 550. What do you think, Benson?
You mean subtracting out the value of that bath?
Yeah, and then the square
And-
footage
and
is
the extra
larger
square
too.
foot. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right there.
All
So,
right.
so 550. So what percentage of ARV do we need to get it at then? So if it's 550 and we multiply that by what, 60%? 50%?
I mean, so I'll tell you how I do it, and then I'll show them my way, and then let's show them your way because they're very similar and a little bit different. Should we do that? Okay, so the first thing I do, and this is important if you guys want to write this down. Again, I went from delivering pizza to real estate investing. Okay, I like things simple. Okay, literally Papa John's to Coldwell Banker. All right, so the first thing we did is we found out that once it's fixed up and pretty, the highest we could sell it for is going to be 550. Based on the pictures of the house Benson showed me, it's junky. I know it's going to cost probably $100,000 to fix it up. So now I take a 550 ARV minus 100,000 to fix it up, puts me at 450,000. When I go to sell that house, I have to pay closing costs and commission on a $550,000 sales price. That's going to cost me roughly $30,000 just to sell the house to the real estate agents and all of them, right? So we take 550 minus 100,000 to fix it up, puts us at 450, minus 30,000 to sell it, puts us at $420,000. Okay. From there, my hard money mortgage cost on a property like this, I would say it's going to be, let's call it $3,000 a month. And let's just say this project's going to take 6 months to do. So let's call it $20,000 in mortgage payments. So 550 minus 100 to fix it up, 450 minus 30 to sell it puts us at 420, minus 20,000 in mortgage payments puts us at 400. So here's what we just learned. If we bought this house for the listing price today, so if I called this agent, if I offered full price on or 400,000 on this house, I bought it, I fixed it, and I sold it in the end, I'm going to lose $500. Okay. So now we know the break even's 400,000. So if I wanted to make 50,000, I would write an offer at 350. If I wanted to make 100,000, I would write the offer at 300. Does that make sense? Once you identify your break even, then you just choose how much money you want to make. If it's a major fixer, I want to make more. If it's a light remodel, I'm okay making less. So in this case, with a break even of about 400,000, in today's market, I'd probably be comfortable going as high as, 3.25.
Yeah. I think you're right there. And then if you were going to wholesale this, you guys, if Target's going to come in at 3.25, then you need to get it lower than that. So if you come in at 320 and you get it under contract for 320, and now you have that thing under control and it says and or assigns at the end after your LLC, now you can say, hey, Tark, do you want this property? I'll take a $5,000 assignment fee. I'm cool at 325. You just put together a whole deal, and it only took us about 10 minutes to assemble that whole thing and go through it. And that's all by just leveraging the data. And honestly, guys, in this market, that wouldn't be an unreasonable offer, right? Because these guys are still probably thinking like, May prices, right? And
I'm going to answer a question. So Chrissy just asked, hold on one second. This is important. Where is this? Well, I've lost the message. So let me see if I can remember what she asked. Oh, she was asking, what about the unknowns? So here's another very important thing you need to understand. Let's say I called the agent. They accept my offer at 325. I go bring my contractor, a home inspector. I go to the house and I find out there's 50,000 in foundation problems on top of the 100,000. I was off on my estimate by $50,000. you get to do one or two things. One, tell the seller, well, I can't pay you $325, but I can pay you $275. So you get it at a lower price. If they say no, you just cancel the deal and move on. Nothing's lost. And that's the beautiful thing about real estate, because when you're buying a property, you have something called contingencies. All that means is within a certain period of time, you can back out of that house for any reason you want. Typically, it's around 17 days.
17 days. This one's interesting. I don't know much about Mount Washington. Do you?
I'm actually doing, I got a house listed there right now for $3 million.
Okay.
It's going to be on the Flipping El Musas. I think it's the first episode of the new season airing in March.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So Benson, why don't you want to go back to the other LA house? I'll call the agent and see if I can
Yeah.
write an offer on this thing.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me just change the filter here real quick. All right.
All right. Another thing, everybody, the odds of a real estate agent answering are probably 10 to 20%. So what I do is I call them. The second they don't answer, I text them. And then right after I'm done with the text, I look for their website or their email and I email them. And if I haven't heard back from them by the evening time, guess what I do again? I call them again and I text them again. So the gold is in the follow-up. You gotta be really tenacious.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here is
Rhonda.
agent. It's Rhonda.
Okay, Rhonda. All right, let's call Rhonda. $52.82. And what was the address? Oh, there it is. Perfect.
It's West 75th Street.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, is this Rhonda?
Yes.
Hey, Rhonda, how you doing? My name is Tariq El Musa, and I was calling about your listing on 75th Street.
Yes.
How you doing tonight?
I'm well. Thank you.
Okay, well, I own a couple properties in the area, and I've also purchased a few in the area. So I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. Was it still available?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here, Rhonda. I was wondering, is it still available, that property?
It's still available, and this is what's going on. The tenant is related to the owner. The tenant is not paying rent and is refusing us access to the property. We
So,
have several full price and above list price offers.
okay, wow. So you have full price and above list price offers, and unfortunately, the tenant's just not allowing showings.
Exactly, and we're waiting for a court date. The tenant put a less pendants against the property that should not be there, and the owner's husband, who is an attorney, has filed for a court date, and he did that in November. So we're expecting to hear something soon
Okay,
in regard to a hearing date.
got it. Okay, so there's a legal situation going on. Okay, well, then what I'll do is I'll make sure I follow up. But let me ask you this. Are there any other properties that you can think of that are yours, or maybe someone's in your office that might be a good investment?
No, I can't think of anything at the moment.
Okay, no problem. And let me ask you this. When was the last time you sold a property to an investor?
Oh my God, I have an investor that I've sold 24 properties to within the last 36 months. So I have a good clientele base.
Okay, great. Well, I would love to be considered to be one of your investors that you work with. I'm not sure if you're familiar with me. Have you watched HGTV at all?
Yes, Clark?
Tariq El Musa. You might know my show, Flip or Flop.
Oh, okay, yes. I've heard of your show. Yes.
All right. Well, I would love to do some deals, and I'm going into season 2. of the Flipping El Mooses, and I really need property. So this is my cell phone number. And if you come across anything, I would love to purchase it and have you represent me.
Gotcha. Okay, then, let's see here. Let me see. Your name didn't show up. Do me a favor, send a text with your name.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I'll see what I can find.
Okay, awesome. It was so nice talking to you. And I would love to be one of your investors. So please let me know how we can make that happen.
Okay, so what's your price range?
You know, up to 5 million. I mean, I can go higher than 5 million if it's a really good deal, but typically I'm buying up to 5 million.
Gotcha. Okay, very well. Thanks a lot.
You're so welcome. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, she answered. That was great. So do you see, did I do any like voodoo magic or any like hypnotism or, I just had a conversation. And that's all this business is. Hi, is the property available? What's going on? Do you have any offers? And so many people are so scared to get into this business, but like once you really understand the business, you realize like, oh crap, it's not that difficult, and honestly, I'm just going to say it again. And listen, if you have any desire to change your life through real estate, we are offering free strategy sessions. So book your strategy session. You don't know what you don't know. I promise you'll be happy with it. And this is the stuff we want to teach you guys. But Benson, it was a good call though. So she told me she has sold 24 houses to one investor. That's a lot of deals to one person. I want to be that person. Okay. So
it is.
We're going to follow up with that real estate agent. But you see what just happened there? I had a conversation. I met an agent. This deal doesn't work, but she told me she's done 24 deals with one other investor. Now let's talk about compounding. Imagine if I did this for hours every day for the next 90 days. How many agents like this do you think I'd have in my cell phone? I would have a lot. So do you think some deals would start coming in? I think so.
I know so. I definitely know so. It's the follow-up too, guys. Like don't just, put her behind you and move on. Like it's in the follow-up, even with agents. Like you need to follow up with her, touch base, make sure that she's remembers you, because in a week she's going to get busy with work and other clients. And then if she comes across a deal and she doesn't remember you, then you just missed out. And that very valuable first call would have been for naught.
100%. And Benson, I tell all my students at homeschooled when they're on the phone with people, we just tell them, hey, Benson, my name is Tarek, and, Tarek El Moussa from HGTV wanted me to reach out about your property at 123 Main Street. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's leverage, right? Like when they hear that, they're like, oh, they're working with somebody that they must be somebody that I want to work with.
And it opens the conversation. Tarek, well, who's Tarek? Oh, have you seen HGTV? And then it becomes a conversation. You start building rapport. Yeah, I'm in his program. He's teaching me to flip. We go to live, and it's just about getting to know people.
Oh yeah. That's amazing that you can do that for people. One of the questions a lot of people have, Tarek, is, well, what do I do for proof of funds? What do I do for earnest money? Like, what do you guys teach about that?
Yeah. So proof of funds and earnest money, earnest money, that's a negotiable thing depending on price point. Typically if earnest money, sometimes, we'll say do a smaller deposit, 1,000 or 2,000, or maybe do a deposit that's not released, right? So there's different ways around that. And, the coaches have, different ideas on how they like to treat that. And when it comes to proof of funds, well, if you don't have a proof of funds, you can call through Homeschooled. We have a partnership with our preferred lender, Kiavi, and then they send a letter, the qualifying letter saying what you're approved for. But if that doesn't happen, well, you don't want to lose the deal. Then you come to me and you ask me for the proof of funds, and then we do the deal together. So there's no reason why everybody can't be doing deals.
So you'll actually partner up with your students?
Heck yeah.
Insane.
No deal will be left behind.
Well, that's the thing, is that they're so hard to get. And, for you to actually go out and partner with your students that's pretty cool.
100%. And actually, Benson, I don't know if you guys know this, my homeschooled students know this, but for the rest of the audience, we just started Thursday night deal review with Tarek Buys Houses. Tarek Buys Houses is my company, and my two main guys, Adam and Parker, they're doing live deal reviews with our students. So if someone was on Privy today and they locked up a house and they didn't know what to do, well, on Thursday, they get on the free live deal review and we go through the details of the property with them. So we hold their hands through the entire process.
I love it. So we got another deal here, Tarek, that could be worth calling. I was just looking at some of the comps here as we were chatting. You know, there's definitely investor activity in the area. You can see we've got all these flips. So we're in the right area, I think. And so this one is listed for 475. It's a 2-1, 893 square feet. And when we look at some of the flips here, you know, we can see that we're getting up into the 650 range. You know, we'd have to subtract out the value if we couldn't get another bedroom or bathroom in there, which probably in these homes out here, Tarek, you're not gonna be able to stick another
Yeah,
one.
yeah. It's important, especially in California, to comp 2 bedrooms against 2 bedrooms.
Okay. Or make adjustments, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so this one here, 656, 660. We subtract out the value of a bedroom there. What is the value of a bedroom in LA, do you think? 30 grand? 25?
I mean, on a house like this, because it's so small, yeah, I'd call it 30 grand.
Okay, so that brings us down to 440 ish. Okay, so 440. Actually, no, the other way around. I'm sorry. 660 minus 40 grand. So 620, 610. So 610 is the value on this thing. All right. So 610.
So real quick, he's about to show you guys his way of doing what I did earlier when I said ARV minus how much to fix it, minus selling, minus holding, find your break even. This is a different formula.
It is. And so one of the things that is beneficial when you look at the data is that you can see what a fix and flipper is willing to buy a property at, percentage of ARV wise, right? So Tarek, he knows his numbers, and this is what he teaches his students. He teaches you how to break it down like that. And there's a little bit of a learning curve there, and that's totally fine. And he's thinking from the mind of a fix and flipper, right? Because that's what he's been doing for the whole time. For those of you that are doing wholesale, sometimes you can rely on what your buyers tell you they want. So if a buyer tells you that they would buy a deal from you at 55% of the ARV, well, at that point, you can do a simple percentage. So you might multiply this times 55%, and then you come up with a number. And this is saying you didn't have to go through the cost and do the things like he's doing the breakdown. That's what you should aspire to do, right? That's what you want to get to. But for people who are looking at what other flippers are doing, like this flipper right here, they just flipped this house. They just flipped this one. So if I open this property up, and this is a buyer that I want to potentially sell a property to, when I look at the before and after, look at, they got this at 83% of the ARV.
Wow, that's scary. That was a terrible buy. That's a scary one.
Right, and this is what's interesting when you learn like what buyers are willing to do. I would sell the properties to this guy all day if he would
day
buy them
long.
from me.
Yeah, so yeah, you want to find the investors that pay high percentages of ARV.
You do. So this, and who is this? So the person who flipped this is Kell Homes Group, LLC. So Kell Homes Group, in the right situation, will pay up. Right? They'll pay up. Now you don't see this. When did they buy this thing? March. So March of 22. They made little to no money on this thing. But here's the thing: there's other motivation out there, you guys, besides just flipping houses. Tarek's a fix and flipper, but he also buys and holds property. Landlords will pay a higher percentage of ARV than someone who's going to flip a house because they don't have to realize their profits immediately after they sell it. They're looking for the long term. So they're looking at cash flow, they're looking at appreciation, they're looking at depreciation, they're looking at all the tax write-offs they get from that property, and all that cash on cash return gives them money, revenue coming back that doesn't have to do with them like just making money right when they flip it. So landlords are another great potential source of buyers, and you can find those inside of Privy right here by going in the filter, and then we can run a search for what's called absentee owners, and that'll show us all the landlords in the area. So if you're in an area where you're having trouble finding deals at these low percentages of ARV, then look at landlords, because landlords, I mean, not as much anymore, but they were buying at 100% of the ARV as long as it cash flowed. And now most of those were hedge funds and other institutional buyers, but they definitely will pay more than a fix and flipper. Am I right, Tarek?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Hey Benson. So you think we open it up to some questions, and then maybe we can announce some of the specials that are available with Privy for tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Let's answer some questions.
All right, guys. So if you have any,
I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you, if I have a property right now that it's mine and I would like to flip it, would you be interested in it? And I actually also want to add an ADU.
yes, I would be interested in it.
Okay.
So if you could email Adam at TarekBuysHouses.com.
Can you message that on the chat so I don't email
Sure.
anybody
Yeah, I'll do
else?
it. I'll do it. Oh, there it is.
There it is right there. And just mention that you were on the webinar with me and you're interested in doing a deal, and I told you to email him, and he is the president of Tarek Buys Houses, so he'll take good care of you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Tarek.
You're very welcome.
Perfect. Okay, let's see here. So people are asking, well, what does Privy cost? Without the special we're going to do tonight, if you just wandered and you found our website, it'd be $97 a month or $930 for the year. Anne is asking, I think this is for you, Tarek, as an agent, can I just send properties your way?
Okay, so if they're your listings, absolutely. Yes, you can. If they're off market or you have a connection with a real estate agent, yes. If they're just fixers on the MLS like we're looking at tonight, unfortunately, no, because I have access to all of those.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here. I just signed up for the strategy session. Congrats, Sai. Does your team work on building a rental portfolio, commercial properties portfolio as well, Tarek?
100%. So that's my company, TEM Capital, where we work primarily with accredited investors. But what we do is we partner on commercial real estate, typically multifamily or self-storage. And if you're talking about just building your own personal real estate portfolio with houses, 100%. All the steps you take to wholesale or flip a house, it's the same when you're looking for a rental property. The only difference, you're not selling it. With real estate, it's important to make money when you buy, meaning buying it below the market value. So the day you own that house, you've made money.
Cool. Let's see here. Let's see. A lot of people are looking to get with you guys, Tarek. People are stoked about joining Homeschooled.
Yeah, come on down, man. We have an incredible community. We have so much fun. Like, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm the coach of Homeschool every Wednesday night. So you guys, I don't know if you're gonna get sick of me, but every Wednesday night, you get me for about 1.5 to 2 hours. Thursday, we have the deal review with Tarek Buys Houses. I jump on those too. We also have monthly boot camps with all the incredible coaches. We have an entire library of downloadable videos and audio and just so much content. And then also we're planning a big live event in April. So, we're a community and we support each other. We help each other. There's homeschool students on here right now. They know we all help each other. Like, people need support. So we're a community.
What are the best platforms in California to find those leads besides MLS?
Leads for properties, Miriam?
Yeah. For distressed properties.
Privy. I'm sorry, Benson. On market or off market?
Off market.
Off market, you know, we work with a software called Deal Finder, and that's through the homeschooled program. If you book your strategy session, just ask them about it, and they can connect you with that. But with Deal Finder, you can find pre-foreclosures, absentee owners, multiple property owners, and really get the exact data that you want.
And is it skip trace through the phone number for the owner? Kind of fast. Okay.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, I did a special webinar a couple of weeks ago. Right now, print mail is really working for me, but not all print mail is created equal. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on print mail, and I think I barely broke even or lost a little bit of money. I did some research, found a specialty company. My last print mail campaign spent $16,000, got over 140 phone calls, and we did 4 deals. So,
Nice.
and this is all the stuff I share with the students. It's like, let's not reinvent the wheel, right? Let's just figure out how we built the wheel and build another one.
Yeah, and when you receive a property, when you comp it, do you just put on MLS, or you have like an app that when you put an address kind of gives you a fast idea, like if it's a good or bad deal?
Yeah, I just jump on the MLS, takes me a few minutes, or you can do it on Zillow, you can do it on Redfin, you can do it on Privy.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Jeffrey was asking, does Privy have current up-to-date fix and flip properties in the Tampa area? Jeffrey, Tampa was the area we looked at first. You must have got in a little bit late, and absolutely, there were a ton of them out there.
A ton of them. They're probably some of the most in Tampa. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the hottest areas. It's definitely the hottest area in all of Florida. Cool. Somebody was asking, does Privy have contracts in here? You actually don't need contracts. If you're doing on market, the agent is going to use their state approved contract to put together the offer. So it's really kind of, it really simplifies the whole process, because you don't have to negotiate directly with the seller and be in some uncomfortable conversation with them if they're going to lose their house. You don't have to sit at their kitchen table. You really just have to get that offer in through their agent or through your agent or the listing agent, and then they handle all the paperwork for you. So it's really kind of hands off, and it's especially good for somebody who's new, because you don't have to understand all the contract language. Like if you have your own agent, they've got your back. And then also they're kind of like your transaction coordinator too. They make sure everybody gets to the closing table. The title company handles all of it for you. And they're also going to keep out for any pitfalls in the contract, like your inspection period expiring or one of those other things happening. And they got your back on that.
Yeah.
Hey Tark, how did you get over having ADHD and become so good at house flipping?
Well, I definitely didn't get over. You see me bouncing around over here.
Because I have really bad ADHD, so I was just wondering.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been on every medication under the sun. You know, it's fine. I channel it. You know, I take my ADHD and I'm able to do a lot of different things at one time. And I'm obsessed with real estate. I enjoy looking for deals. I enjoy the hunt. I enjoy the find. And I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do. And if you love what you do, it's not work. It's a game. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, all I do when I have my free time, I'm just looking at houses, looking at all the comps and everything, and I'm just like, I really want to buy houses and flip them.
Okay, young man. Well, here's the thing. If you want to buy houses, you got to take the proper steps to put yourself in a position where you can actually buy the houses, so you don't just look at the houses. So I think you should book a strategy session with the team and see how you can get started. Because like I said, I started getting my real estate license at 19 years old. I mean, I've been in this business for over 20 years, and it just creates the most opportunities.
Well,
opportunities for everybody. My parents were immigrants into this country. My dad was an engineer. My mom was a school teacher. Like, I had no money, you know, and it's just amazing what you can do in this country. And it's amazing what real estate can do for you.
Well, Tark, they just added a class in my school for my school that they added where you can get a real estate license only for seniors. That's what I'm going to do next year.
All right. Well,
That's cool.
Yeah. I heard next year. I'm just going to say that. How old are you?
I'm 17.
Start now. There's no reason why you can't. Like, I'm telling you, if I was 17 years old, I would not make phone calls. I would knock on doors. I'd be on Privy. Why aren't you starting now?
I'm starting now because I don't really have the money to spend to do the real estate classes and all that.
Got it. Okay. Well, you don't. So, okay, I have a free Facebook group Go check that out. There's a lot of valuable information in there, but you can get started without money and you can get started without classes. And I'm telling you, it's time to get started. So get out there and make it happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'll answer some more questions for you guys, but we did put together a special offer for the homeschooled community. So if you decide you wanted to sign up for Privy, we've got a 30-day money back guarantee, so you can use it for a full month and attend all the trainings. I personally do all the trainings, so I'll teach you how I use it in my business. And we also have a lot of our users and students will show you how they use it. We got tons of on-demand training. I'm also going to give you my course. So I built a course on how to go and do virtual wholesale or fix and flip or whatever your exit strategy is. When I started doing deals in St. Louis, I basically started documenting my whole entire process, from just finding the market, doing the research, building my buyers list, reaching out and talking to agents. I recorded all those calls live, got my first deals. I turned it all into a course. So I'm going to give you that for free. Okay. If you join tonight, and we got two levels. We've got monthly and we've got annual. Like I said, the monthly is normally $97 per month, but if you come on tonight, it's going to be $67. I'm going to give you a 30% discount for your first month. And then after the first month, it'll be $97. If you want to come on and get the free course with some other bonuses, we've got a national buyers list that has over 5,000 people on it. I'm going to give you that for free if you go with the annual plan. And I'm going to give you the course. We've got a national hedge fund list, which is hedge funds are buyers. And then we've got a national private money lender list too. So I'm gonna give you those bonuses with Privy if you use the promo code TARIK2023. And that for the annual plan will be only $814. So that gets you Privy for an entire year and all of those bonuses.
Great. Hey, Benson, how long is the offer good for?
We'll make it available for 48 hours.
Okay.
48 hours. So do your due diligence, talk to your significant other, talk to your business partner. You know, I know $814 isn't anything to sneeze at, but I guarantee you it'll be money well spent. And honestly, just the time I personally spend with you in these trainings, not to toot my own horn, is very valuable. You know, I go through deals. You know, I saw earlier people were asking me to evaluate specific deals. Bring those to the trainings. We'll do that for you. It's $814 per year.
Yeah, and as you guys can tell, you're not in this on your own. Like, you have an entire community behind you. So if you're new to the business, guess what? Every other single real estate investor in the universe, at one point, they were new to the business. So we're here for you. Like, we all got started. We all had a day one. And, you know, like I said, if you have the ability to go on Privy and lock up a deal, and then you're like, well, I don't know what to do next, just call Tarik. There you go. We'll make it happen. We'll figure it out.
Yep. And we only had a short amount of time, you guys, to try to compact that whole process into, you know, was it 30 minutes after we talked? We have amazing students. I mean, I got off a call with a guy named John. He's in New York. Him and his partner, Mahmoud, they've closed about $600,000 in assignment fees just from deals they found on Privy, just from stuff they found on Privy. And it sounds ridiculous, but it absolutely can happen. We've got another student who is using Privy virtually, and she's doing deals in Dallas. In the last 4 or 5 months, she's done about 120,000 in assignment fees. So those are just the fees, like the 10,000 to transfer a contract. So she did, that was about 6 deals. So she had a couple big ones, like a $20,000 one she did. And so we got lots of testimonials. So if you want to check that out, it's on our YouTube channel. I'll put that link in the chat. But again, there's no risk. 100% money back guarantee. Most people won't, because the software does exactly what it's designed to do. And by the way, somebody was asking about markets. We're going to be adding in more and more markets. We're adding in short-term rental data. So you could use the software to find like Airbnbs for yourself. If you want to find rental properties, if you want to do multifamily properties, we've got those as well. We've got all kinds of different strategies there. It's not just wholesale, not just fix and flip. Whatever your strategy is, we can definitely help you find those properties.
Absolutely. So Benson, I think, yeah, we're a little bit over. I know it's a little late on the East Coast, but I wanted to say thank you so much for your time. You're a true entrepreneur, real estate rock star, and I absolutely love Privy. To my homeschool students out there, you guys better be crushing Privy all day and bringing those deals to Thursday. And for the general public on tonight, I hope you guys had a great time. We gave you a little sneak peek of our community here, and we have a lot of fun, and it's all about learning and growing and training and supporting. And, if you want to join us and jump on the bandwagon and just have a lot of fun, you got to book that free strategy session to get involved. So other than that, I had a great time. Anything else before we hang up, Benson?
No, thanks for having me. That was a blast. It flew by so fast when you're like, hey, we got to answer some questions. I'm like, wait a second, we're just getting started.
I know.
Here.
Well,
So-
let's do it again. We'll do it again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, this was amazing. Thanks for having me. And I appreciate everybody showing up. It really shows that you guys are really looking to step your game up. I mean, this is not something that's just easy. You're putting in the work, you're grinding, and it will pay off.
Yeah, and I'm gonna leave with one last thing. And listen, if you guys want to do this, you got to go in the mirror and have a talk with yourself. And you got to make 2 commitments. 1, you're willing to put in the work. And 2, you're going to be very proud of yourself. You're going to be very nice to yourself. Okay, I'm on 3 already. What I'm saying is this: don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Go at your own pace. If it takes you 6 months before you get your first deal, well, it takes you 6 months. If it takes you 3 months, it takes you 3 months. Doesn't matter. You just got to keep going. Do it at your pace. Over time, this amazing thing between our ears, it just learns and learns and learns. It's the most advanced computer in the world. And I'm telling you, just commit to this business. Your life will never be the same.
Love it. Thanks again, everybody. Good night.
See you guys. That was fun.